Hi my dear students, welcome to English class. Now we're going to discuss a very funny and interesting story, The Brave Potter. And this will be very interesting to you friends. Just listen to that. And the present lesson, The Brave Potter, was written by Marguerite Siek. He is a very famous storyteller and story collector. And let us know before entering into the lesson what he is actually. Marguerite Siek was a great storyteller. He was very much interested in telling folk and mythological stories of Asia. So he is very much interested in the stories from Asia, and mainly India, Burma, Vietnam, Indonesia, all these countries' folk tales. And not only that, he used to collect those stories and translate it into English, and he used to publish them. He travelled across many Asian countries and collected interesting short stories from various countries and published them in English. He translated many famous Indian folk stories into English. The present short story, The Brave Potter, is a very popular Telugu one collected by him from India. So this is a folk tale, friends. Folk tale means folktale, a very old traditional story that has been passed down from one generation to another in a spoken form. So Marguerite Siek was very much interested to collect these kind of a folk tales actually. And this story, The Brave Potter, we'll look into that. Very funny things will happen. An ordinary guy, an ordinary potter will be considered by many, including king, that as a brave, courageous person, and the king expects that to save the kingdom by the potter, and whether he will save the kingdom or not, we will look into that. Listen to the text carefully. Marguerite Siek was chosen a very well-known Indian folk tale for retelling in English. Children and adults alike are fond of folk tales. We all love stories very much. So how you love, I love stories very much. So we all love stories very much. This is one among the best stories, which are often amusing and sometimes instructive. So these stories are not only entertain us, and at the same time they're instructive. They'll give some message to us. With that message, our life can be fruitful and successful. Now, we are entering into the story, children. Listen to the story carefully. It was dark. Thick black clouds covered the evening sky. When the skies will be dark, before it rains. It was dark. Thick black clouds covered the evening sky. The thunder roared, and the strong wind shook the branches and leaves of the trees in the forest. So, slowly the climate is changing. Pit pat pit, drops of rain fell. Then the lightning flashed and split the black sky with its blinding light. Listen carefully the word, children. Then the lightning flashed and split the black sky with blinding light. Normally with the light we can see the objectives, right? So but here blinding light. So sometimes when the light is so bright, we cannot see opposite things. So we'll be closing our eyes. For example, normally I can look into the camera, or you can look into the objectives in front of you. You can look at your friends sitting next to you, or family members. But if we look towards the sun, can we look directly? No, it is we cannot look directly, and moreover our eyes will harm. So because it is so bright light is so blinding here. So blinding light, that it is referred to, which we cannot see. Soon it was raining heavily. So rain started, and it's in deep forest. Rain started heavily. An old tiger ran through the rain looking for shelter. He was wet and cold, and his cave was far away. While hurrying to his shelter, While hurrying to his shelter, he saw an old hut. So he was running towards his cave, but on the other side it was raining heavily. So he was searching for some shelter. While hurrying to his shelter, he saw an old hut. With a sigh of relief, the tiger crawled under the thatched roof and lay down by the door. So the moment he saw old thatched hut, so he wanted to take some shelter there, and he went, crawled there and snuggled himself there. Except for the sound of rain, all was quiet. Everything was quiet at that time. So only the sound of rain was heard. Before he could nod off, he was about to sleep. He was about to, because he is fully tired. So he was about to sleep, nod off. However, he heard something heavy being dragged inside the hut. Some heavy object has been dragged inside the hut. This was followed by the voice of a woman. So a woman's voice was heard. Oh, how terrible this leak is. How terrible this leak is. Now, here what does it mean, leak? We'll know. How terrible this leak is. She complained. How terrible. I would rather meet a tiger in the forest than have this leak in my house. So, there's a doubt arises, confusion arises in tiger after hearing this dialogue by the lady in the hut. What the lady says, the woman says, how terrible this leak is. She complained. How terrible. I would rather meet a tiger in the forest than have this leak in my house. Normally, tiger is considered as ferocious animal, and normal human beings will not dare to meet tiger. So, and this lady on the other side, this woman was telling very easily, instead of facing this leak, it will be for me easy to meet tiger. I'll face tiger very easily. That's what she is telling. Now the tiger is in confusion. Now here leak means a small crack or a hole on the thatched roof. So from that crack or hole, the water is dripping inside the hut. A leak. Now the tiger is thinking. A leak. The tiger thought. What is leak? It is confused because it never heard about a leak. It thought leak to be a creature. A leak. The tiger thought. What is a leak? It must be very dangerous and strong, or the women would not be more frightened of the leak than of me. Am I not rightly called the king of the forest? Am I not rightly called the king of the forest? The tiger is thinking. So slowly a fear entered into the mind of tiger, and it began to doubt itself. Because it knows until then, it knows that it is very ferocious and courageous animal, more powerful animal in the jungle, in the forest. But the moment tiger heard about leak, she is doubting. So self-doubt always dangerous, friends. Never ever doubt yourself. So the tiger began to doubt its own ability. Aren't they all afraid of me? I think until now I thought that people are afraid of me, all the animals are afraid of me. But what is this leak actually? They are ready to face tiger instead of leak. So the leak may be more powerful creature than me. The tiger is self-doubting. So thinking like this. I wonder what a leak looks like. It's thinking deeply. Soon afterwards, the tired tiger fell asleep. Thinking like this, because it fully tired, it fell asleep. He was suddenly awakened by an angry voice shouting in his ear. He was deep in sleep. The tiger was deep in sleep. Suddenly, somebody is shouting at the tiger. He was suddenly awakened by an angry voice shouting in his ear. He felt heavy blows fall upon his head and shoulders. Somebody is sitting on the shoulders and head of the tiger. You horrible beast! A voice screamed angrily. How dare you run away? How dare you make me walk about in the middle of the night trying to find you? Be careful. One of these days I'll kill you now. Go home. So that creature is threatening. How dare you to come and sleep here? So go home now. That creature is shouting. The old tiger shivered, got shocked. This must be the leak who has come out of the hut. I'd better do as he says, or he will kill me. The tiger got completely feared, frightened, and it decided to obey whatever that creature says. So the tiger allowed himself to be bound around the neck with a thick rope. So that creature tied a thick rope around the neck of a tiger, and it decided to do whatever the creature says. The mysterious creature, mysterious word came from mystery, friends. Mystery, which cannot be understood clearly. The mysterious creature then climbed onto the tiger's back and pulled at the rope. So the mysterious creature climbed the tiger and pulled the rope. "Come on, head for home," shouted the voice. The tiger felt a sharp kick in his side. At the sides of the tiger, the creature kicked with its leg. "Come, go towards home." The tiger was terrified and he ran through the dark forest. The creature pulled hard on the rope to tell him which way to go. At the same time, it scolded, cursed. At the same time, it scolded, cursed, and kicked the poor tiger. Soon they stopped in front of a small hut on the edge of the thick forest. The creature climbed down from the tiger's back and bound him with an iron chain to a nearby tree. So the creature got down and it tied it with an iron chain to a nearby tree. Then he went inside the hut. The tiger could not free himself from the chain, so he had to spend a miserable night under the tree. Who was this creature? The tiger is thinking, I'm very powerful. I've been thinking that I'm very powerful. Now, who is this creature who tied me and here? I'm thinking in a fearful mood. Who was this creature who was able to capture such a large and dangerous tiger? Let's find out. Now, slowly the secret is opening up. On the afternoon of that day, a potter had arrived home after a hard day's work. He was tired and thirsty. He was fully tired. That potter was fully tired and feeling thirsty. He had asked his wife for some palm wine. Palm wine is an alcohol drink made from palm saps. In Telugu, we'll call this as kallu. It's an intoxicating drink. The more he drank, the better he felt. When he had drunk all the wine, that is, in English we'll call, Telugu we'll call that as kallu, in English we'll call it as toddy. He had asked his wife for some palm wine. The more he drank, the better he felt. When he had drunk all the wine, he no longer felt tired. When the storm began, the potter suddenly remembered that he had left his donkey tied under a tree. He rushed out of his hut to take the animal into the stable. Stable here where we will tie the animals. Normally horses will tie animals, right? That's called. Suddenly the potter, who was in a drunkard state, inebriated state, he remembered, I tied my donkey to a tree. So he remembered that and he ran out to get it back. You can imagine his anger when he discovered that the donkey was not there anymore. The only thing left was its chain. So when he searched for the donkey, he went to the place where he tied the donkey to a tree. So he went to that place and he found that the donkey was not there. He got angry about that. My stupid donkey must have run off into the forest. Now that stupid donkey might have escaped itself from the rope and it might went into the forest. He grumbled, muttering in angrily word, cursing somebody, to complain in a bad-tempered way. When I catch him, I'll give him a good beating. When I catch the donkey, I'll give him a good beating. So he thought, Potter thought. The potter walked through the wet forest. When it became dark, he often stumbled. See, stumble here, tripping, slipping out, or moving unstable way. See, we will find, you might have observed students, sometimes the people in a drunkard state, they can't walk straight in a proper manner. They will be walking in imbalanced way. So that is called stumbling. He is stumbling here and there and walking. Because he drank toddy, right? And is in an inebriated state. His conscience is not quite right. The potter walked through the wet forest. When it became dark, he often stumbled over roots and fallen branches. With each step, the potter felt angrier and angrier with his donkey. When I catch him, I'll tie him up under a tree all night, he muttered to himself. Muttering, he said to him, because he has been searching. On the one side, it's raining heavily, and because the donkey escaped and he has been searching for the donkey, once I catch it, I'll give him a nice beating, and whole night I'll tie it out. That is what the potter thought. Hours later, for hours together, he has been searching, right? Hours later, the potter reached the old woman's hut. There he saw an animal sleeping in front of the door. There he is. So he saw the tiger. There he is. Stupid animal. He got angry. Now, the drunken potter did not notice the difference between the donkey and the tiger. So now you remember, students, the tiger mistook the mysterious creature to the potter. The mysterious creature is none other than the potter. But don't forget, the potter is in a drunken state, is in an inebriated state. So you don't know what he is doing, because he lost his consciousness because he drank toddy, right? So he kicked and bait the sleeping tiger. He then jumped onto the frightening animal's back, rode it home, and then tied it up with the iron chain. In fact, what the potter thought donkey is not a donkey. Actually, it is a tiger, but old tiger. Because the tiger, normally tigers are ferocious animals, right? Wild, they will be always ready to attack whoever threatens them. But here, the main reason why the tiger couldn't attack the potter, because remember, I already said that it began to doubt its own ability. That is the major reason the tiger obeyed the potter, drunken potter. Next morning, the villagers who passed the potter's house looked in amazement. They were shocked, great surprise. The people who were walking next to the potter's hut, suddenly they saw tiger was tied over there. How great that! They were shocked. Normally we will tie animals, donkeys, the horses, cows, buffaloes, or our pet dogs, we will tie. But here, tiger was tied. It was an amazement for all the villagers. Next morning, the villagers who passed the potter's house looked in amazement at the tiger tied to the tree. Soon, the news spread throughout the village that the potter had caught a tiger. Soon the news spread throughout the village that the potter had caught a tiger and tied it to a tree in his yard. All the villagers praised his courage. So the people were praising him. All the villagers praised his courage. They also thanked him because the tiger had eaten many of their goats and buffaloes. Because the villagers lost their valuable goats, cows, buffaloes, they thought, thank God. So the brave potter caught the tiger and tied it to it in his yard. So they were very happy at potter's act. They had tried to catch him for many years but had failed. Of course, the potter said that he had done nothing of sort. He said that he had only brought his donkey home. But poor potter don't know that he tied tiger. He has been still believing that, thinking that I tied what tiger actually? I bought my own donkey and tied it to next to my hut. So why the people are saying like that? He is in confused state. They had tried to catch him for many years but failed. Of course, the potter said that he had done nothing of the sort. He said that he had only brought his donkey home. He did not understand how a donkey could change into a tiger. He couldn't confuse. He wasn't confused. When he saw the tiger, he fainted, lost his senses. He fainted and fell down. Nobody, however, believed the potter's story. The villagers even praised him for being modest. really, he has been pleading to the villagers. I don't know how the tiger came here. Actually, I bought my donkey back and I tied it. He is telling reality, but the villagers were not in a position to believe him. And moreover, the villagers are thinking that how modest he is, how humble he is. So though he is a very brave person, he is not admitting himself to be a brave person. So great quality of him. Like that, people were appreciating him. Soon the potter became famous. Everybody who met him called him the brave potter. The simple potter himself never understood why. But all people are calling him brave potter, but poor potter don't know why he has been people calling him like that. Students, in the next part we will continue. So please read the story thoughtfully and keep working on your dreams. This is Durga Irgunta signing off. Thank you.